See, JJC, anyhow you try to do it, anyhow you try to, the agent I've been speaking with and the other person that came to pick me that said he's my main agent, and I got a knock on the door. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Adana and I film about lifestyle, faith and intentional living. It's good to have you here. If this is your first time, please, I would love for you to join this family. Click on the subscribe button and let us get this up to 500 subscribers by the end of August. For you that already subscribed, thank you so much for always coming back. I don't know if you guys can hear anything. Can you guys hear anything? Yeah, that is my new microphone and I hope it's doing well. Like I'm so excited. This is the first time I'll be filming with it, so let us test it out and see how it goes. So in this video, like you've already seen, I'm going to be sharing my experiences, my first time here in Georgia, the first experience, my first exposure to this country, and what was my reaction and all of that. So yeah, it's a very funny story, so stick around and yeah, let's get right into it. So my reaction coming to Georgia wasn't that extreme compared to stories of other people that I've heard. So the stories have been more like, it has been disappointing, it was disappointing, it was less of the expectation, and they were quite shocked because they didn't expect what they saw. But for me, the shock wasn't that much. When it hit me first, I was like, oh my god, where am I? I then remember that I'd done my research and you know, it wasn't so different. What I was seeing wasn't quite different from what was in the internet and what I had found out from people and what I found out from by myself on the internet. So yeah, I took it in. So first of all, the first thing you should do before you go anywhere, I beg you, is to do your research. Research it. Research the climate, the weather conditions, what is the highest temperature they've ever had, what is the lowest temperature they've ever had, what is their culture, what is the language they speak, what is the food, demographics, religion, what else did I check? Just read a bit about the history of the country as well. These are a couple of things. I don't know if I skipped anything out. Also about the economy. Is it a developing country? Is it an underdeveloped country, or is it a developed country already? You know, check for job opportunities. For someone that is coming to study, you might think you're coming to a developed country where, you know, you'll be working and be schooling, like jobs are just everywhere. You can easily find jobs like that. So you have to find all of those things. That I had to ask questions, you know, to find out kind of job opportunities and things like that. So I didn't have to depend so much on, okay, if I come I'm going to get a job, because I knew that was like off the table. Okay, unless it's something that you're starting on your own. So yeah, I got to Georgia. My flight was Qatar. I flew Qatar. They were really good. They're really good. Their food and all of that stuff. It's just that the transit time was so long. The transit time was so long. When I came to Georgia, I had an agent. I need to tell you this before I get into what I want to say. So I had an agent who I practically did his job for him, because at the end of the day, this guy wasn't doing much. I was the one giving out most of the information. I was the one doing most of the things and all of that. But I was working with someone that was here in Georgia, and the person was going to come and pick me up. I wasn't sure if the person was going to come, so I had to make my own arrangement. So I contacted the school and they said that their student representative or something like that was going to be there. I also contacted my now flatmates, which was the person I contacted sometime when I was trying to find out stuff about the school. So they were the ones I was also going to stay with for a while before I looked for another place, which eventually I didn't have to look for another place because we've been living together since then till now. So I had to have like different options so that if one fails, I hold on to the other and all of that. So I had one person from the agent, who the agent said they were going to send. I had one from the school, and then I had my roommate now, who said she would come if she was going to be free because she had classes at that time. I got to the airport, and when we arrived, they asked me for my documents, asked me what I was studying. I told them I was studying, I came to study medicine. They asked for all of those proof. I gave it to them, gave them my admission letter, gave them all of the documents. In fact, I had them with me. And then they asked for my accommodation, where I was going to be staying. So I showed them a booking.com, something that I booked, which I was going to spend just one night in. And what else? Yeah, and then my visa, of course. And they did a lot of searching, to be honest. They took me aside, they took me to a room, they searched all my, you can imagine when you stuffed your bag and you have to bring out everything. They searched my bag, you know, asked me to bring out my laptop, put it on and things like that. And after a while, they let me go. And all of those time I spent, the guy that was supposed to come and pick me up, the school representative, he left because he had been waiting. And from the time I was supposed to arrive, it was like almost 1 hour after, and I had not come out. So when I came out, my battery was down. I didn't have a power bank. I mean, my power bank was even dead as well. So I couldn't contact him, and I couldn't contact my roommate as well. So I had to go and beg someone. You can imagine coming to a country where they don't even speak English. I had to try to, you know, do some sign language, and someone managed to give me their phone to for me to put my SIM card. Oh my God, that was horrible. I had to put my SIM card inside, and then I made a call, and then he told me that he just left because he thought I wasn't there. He had been waiting. The taxi man he brought was waiting, and he had to go back, that he was going to turn around and come back. I was like, thank you so much. So while I was sitting there and waiting, this other guy that my agent told me was going to come to pick me came. And when he came, he arrived after the school representative had already come. And this became battle of, I don't know, this became a war. Like, both of them started arguing, and I became confused. So my instinct was, go with the person the school has sent. That is safer, because this guy that the agent sent, I don't even know him. I haven't spoken with him before. But then he was telling me that he's the main agent, that the other person was just someone that he asked to help. And when the story of two people are not gelling together, I lost trust at that point, because they were both antagonizing each other. I mean, the agent I've been speaking with, and the other person that came to pick me that said he's my main agent. Guys, I know how confused you are right now. Me, that was how confused I was. So I just told the other guy, I had to tell the other guy to just calm down, that I would have to go with the person that the school brought for me, because this was the person that I was expecting and not him. But he was so adamant, and I was like, I can't go with you, I'm sorry, I have to go with this other guy. You know, I think he was just trying to familiarize, to kind of like get me to change my mind and all of that, because the other guy was making a call to the administration. And so I finally went with the school representative. We went to the place where I booked at booking.com. If you know how Georgia is, it's very mountainous. You see people's houses on a mountain like this. So I think the car was just going around and round and up like this. In my mind, I was like, what did I book? Oh? As in, looking at it now, the amount I paid for that booking.com was never something I would have paid, knowing the places I know now, and knowing, you know, the kind of quality, the quality of houses you can get for the prices available and all of that. See, JJC, anyhow you try to do it, anyhow you try to, unless someone in that place actually tries to help you get a place, you would rarely pick the best, as in what you actually want in your mind. So we finally got to the place. I don't know how I felt. The place was decent, but it wasn't my expectation. So that was something I was disappointed about, the place where I booked. So it was like a home. People were living there, but kind of like they let out some of the rooms, and it's more like you're living in an apartment and then you're sharing bathroom and kitchen with the other people. I paid for the first day, I think it was 80 Lari. So one thing you should do is, when you're doing a booking.com, book one room, book for 1 day first. Don't book for and pay for those period of time. Just do one day booking first, so that when you get there and you like what you see, you can pay for the extra or the remaining days that you have left to stay. Because it can be really disappointing and annoying when you get there and what you see is not what you get. When I finally got there and the school administrator left, I was overwhelmed with different kind of emotions. I was a bit scared. I was so anxious. I was a little bit excited, and I don't know. It's just a mixture of different emotions, to be honest. I didn't know how I was feeling at that point. I just sat down to take it all in. I prayed. I thanked God for journey mercies and all of that. And while we were driving down, I forgot to say, my mom would always tell me that, take possession of the land, pray, and pray that the land is going to be fruitful to you, is going to favor you. So that was what I was doing, like as we were driving all the way from the airport to the apartment where I was going to stay. So I kept on declaring, this land is going to favor me, it's going to favor me, I'm not going to be swallowed up, and things are going to work in my favor, I'm going to meet my destiny helpers, and blah and blah and blah, and all of those prayers, which honestly is a very important prayer. It's something that I pray whatever new location that I go to. I always make that prayer, because for every location there is a power, there is a force that rules over that area, and as a child of God, you need to take charge over those over that location, that it will favor you and you will not be subject to whatever power that is not of God. So that was what I did. So when I got home, I just quickly said a prayer, and then I tried to charge and power my phone to call my parents. At the time I called them, I told them I had reached and all of that. We talk, and I got off the phone. Immediately I got off the phone, I was trying to rest, I think, and I got a knock on the door. Strange visit. I was scared to death, because I was so sure that I wasn't expecting anybody. My flatmates, I had called them and told them I had arrived, and they said they were going to come later in the evening, and that was on a Thursday. I arrived Georgia on Thursday, 7th of October 2016. I can never forget that day. So I wasn't expecting anybody, and then I looked through and it was this guy. I was so scared. He kept on knocking, and then he started calling me, and then I opened the door for him. I was like, how did he find me? He was like, he came to... Honestly, that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. How did he follow us? I don't know. Or did he follow us and then he hid somewhere for the other guy to go, and then he came in? I don't even know. I don't know how this guy located me. But anyways, I let him in. But what did I do? I let him in, but I left the door open. That was what I did. I let him in, but then I left the door open. And then we talked, and he started talking about, I don't know, he just started talking about crap about the agent and all the issues he had with the agent, which I actually know that I was in contact with all the while. And he started telling me about going out to see apartments and how living together would be beneficial. You stay together. But I wasn't settled with it. I wasn't settled with that kind of arrangement. What if I'm staying with some people that I don't want to stay with, and you know, I want to leave. I won't be able to leave because that's going to be a contract, 1-year contract. So I told him that I understand what you're saying, but I think I already have some people I'm going to be staying with. And then his tone changed. I'm like, why? I was surprised. I was like, why is your tone changing? I just told you wanted to help me, and I'm telling you that I already have a place to stay. So why is your tone changing? I was trying to convince me that, you know, as an agent, part of my contract is that I have to stay in the building. Kind of trying to tell me that it was mandatory for me that I had to go and stay in the house, because that's part of the contract. People that come, they have to stay there. So probably he had already paid for the apartment, and he was expecting me to come and stay there with them. I don't know what kind of arrangement that was, but I wasn't okay with it, and I told him I wasn't. I just wasn't settled with the guy, and whatever he told me, I tried to counter it. I just tried to tell him I was tired, that I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to rest. Maybe we can go and see the place tomorrow and all of those stuff. But he didn't want me to go tomorrow because he knew that if those people should come, I wasn't going to go with him at the end of the day. That if my roommates should come and visit me and take me, that I wasn't going to take the deal anymore. So he was trying to insist. I was like, okay, then let him just take me to show me around, you know, and I can also buy something to eat. That I said I'm hungry. And in my mind, I'm like, is it by force? Like, if I had noodles in my box, because I knew that their food was different, which is again back to research. If you don't know what is obtainable in that place, you won't be able to or plan accordingly. So I had noodles in my bag, and I was going to make it for that day or eat it for that night and the next day and all of that. So I told him I wasn't going to go point blank, and he looked a bit upset, but I didn't really care. My guts just told me, don't go, don't just go. You should also go with your guts. Just be as wise as a serpent. Let your eyes be really open, because after I met my roommates, the kind of stories they told me about people, honestly, I don't know if it's just Nigerians that do this or it's just individuals in themselves. They act like they want to help you, and they rip you off. They rip you off of everything that you've got ridiculously, and they know that you're stranded even after ripping you off, and they don't care. They keep making demands. So just go with your guts, go with God, and let your eyes be open. All your senses, including your sixth sense, let it be open and sensitive, and let your spirit be sensitive as well, because God could be telling you something. So yeah, that was my first experience. Coming to Georgia. I wasn't surprised about the buildings, because the buildings are more or less, I don't know how they call it, this kind of old kind of buildings, and made with bricks, and some of them are like this Soviet Union kind of buildings. They also have a really modern areas that are really nice and beautiful. That's where you see a lot of tourists, the center of the city and all of that. And I didn't taste their food up until like a week or two later. I tried to try different things. Their bread was so hard. I kept on complaining, and I don't know how my roommates were able to deal with me, because I kept on complaining of their bread. Their bread is like stone. That's a weapon of warfare. Like, you can crack someone's skull with their bread. No jokes. I was so shocked about what I saw with my eyes. I knew their language was different, and what else again? The weather was good at the time I came, but much later in November I became really cold. And my experience at the airport, like every Nigerian, they are going to search you thoroughly front and back. Like, I've gone in and out of that country like almost 4 times since I came here for the first time, and they still search you like a criminal just for the fact that you have a green passport. Every other nationality, they don't treat them like that. They don't. But Nigerians will always be the scapegoat, will always be the one. So that was more or less the same experience everywhere. What else was different? I didn't really have so much cultural shock on my first day because I didn't have so much contact with a lot of them, except the person that welcomed me into my apartment where I stayed, into the accommodation where I had. They just paid, I paid, and they showed me the kitchen, showed me in the kitchen there were coffee. I could make coffee for myself. They had vegetables, tomatoes and stuff which I used to make noodles. There was, everything was there basically. You can just make what you want. The bed, there were sheets and it was clean. There was a TV, but I couldn't watch anything because it was all in Georgian language. So yeah, that was my first experience on my first day in Georgia. It was quite dramatic because of all of the things that happened at the airport, and then my experience in my apartment where this guy came in and was trying to cross me. I don't know where the guy came in and was trying to be funny and all of that, but I thank God because I didn't give into that, and I stuck with my guts and the leading of the Holy Spirit. So what I would say is, whenever you're going to a place for the first time, do your research, be really prepared, let your eyes be wide open, let your ears be wide open, be as vigilant as possible. Do not trust easily. It's better you Google what you want to search or what someone is telling you before you even accept what they're doing. If possible, find a contact in that country, someone that is already there that can give you an idea of the things that you need to know. For example, taxi fares, so they don't cheat you, and other things as well, so that when someone is telling you something, you can have an idea of what's going on, so you don't get ripped off. Even if as a newbie, somehow they might rip you off a little, but not outrageously in that manner. So yeah, I've come to the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I'm going to be talking about more of my medical journey, how I got admission into Europe, how I went through the processes of getting my visa and all of that, all by myself. The agent, I had an agent, but he was as good as useless to me basically. So if you'd like to see that video, stick around and I'll see you in my next one. Till then, keep living.